Hey everyone, and welcome to the second part of my new series in which I show you how to work with the digital mini album planner for making an 8x8 inch mini album using a digital paper collection. So if you haven't watched the first part of this series, I would highly recommend to do so because in the first part I already showed you how I decorated the album cover as well as the first 3 double pages. And for today's video, I'm just jumping right into decorating my double page number 4. As always, the first thing I need to do is to choose the page style I want to use. And for this double page, I decided to go with my interactive page style number 22. And as said in my previous video, I'm going to use the Alice in Wonderland collections by Echo Park. So I actually want this album to be in like the order of the story. So I already know which journaling card I want to use on this double page. And it's actually the one where Alice is chasing the rabbit into the rabbit hole. And I really love this illustration. This is actually a journaling card from Alice in Wonderland No.1. So it totally makes sense to combine those two collections and use them in the same album. And first I thought I would just use it on the whole 6x8 inch flap of my interactive page style number 22, but then I decided to actually break it down by using a scallop frame. So first I was just choosing my scallop frame, which is the inner frame for 6x8 inch elements. So that's what I'm picking here, and then I just lay it onto my page style, and I'm actually changing the layer so that it's behind these two closing tags, and then I can just drag in my journaling card and have it on here. And then I was just trying out some paper combinations, and I just used some colors I could use on here because on this like 6x8 inch flap there's already the card, so I just want to use plain paper in the background. So I was actually looking for a color to use, but to be honest I didn't like the dark green and also not the very bright green. So the colors of Alice in Wonderland No.2 are a little different compared to the ones in Alice in Wonderland No.1, but I still think like the illustrations are very similar, and even like sometimes they are the same illustrations, like the same rabbit and so on. So yeah, that's why I'm using them together, but with the colors I try to match them a little. So yeah, I was just trying out some papers. And then I also wanted to highlight the rabbit a little more because on the journaling card here on the right side, you can just see it in the background, and I actually wanted to be in the focus, and there are beautiful illustrations of the rabbit. So I was thinking to actually use one of my half circle frames here and place it on the left page. And then I grabbed the rabbit sticker and just laid it on here after changing the background to white because I thought white would match with the white background on the journaling card. But you will see later on that I'm actually changing the background color, but for now I left it in white, and then I just laid the rabbit sticker on here. Now, I definitely didn't like the butterfly pen and paper on the background because with the journaling card, it's just too many colors and too many illustrations. So I decided to design my own pen and paper, just a basic pen and paper for this background of my interactive page style. And I actually chose this striped pattern paper, and this is a template which you can adjust with the colors you want to use. So I'm just picking up the color from Alice's dress, and then for the white color I also decided to have it like not this true white color, but either like more of a beige color. So I was actually choosing a color I would like, which is a very subtle cream or beige tone. And then I also changed the color of the background on my interactive element here to this green color, and the colors of the string tags I also changed to the same pinkish color I had before on the background. And then I grabbed another one of my pen and paper templates because, as I said in my last video, I actually don't really like the basic pen and papers in these two collections. There are a few I'm using in this album, but I actually prefer like my pen and papers for most of the combinations. And especially here, I had another look at the mushrooms, and I really thought that this pattern of the mushroom looks exactly like this pen and paper template. So I was just grabbing this one and then changed the colors to the colors of the mushroom. And my first idea was to actually back the journaling card on the right side on this scalloped frame, which I would cut out using my cutting machine. But with the swing tabs, it sometimes gets in the way of the closure. So I didn't want to use a cutout scalloped frame. So I decided to go with another scalloped frame, which is just like this line art, which I can then just print out on the background paper. I then just copied my text box from the previous page I decorated in my last video and placed it on the bottom here because I also want to add some text, and this time I was looking at the journaling cards again to find a matching quote, and I decided to go with I'm late for a very important date. Now, in the last video, when I showed you the finished pages, which I already had crafted, I told you that I actually changed these basic pattern papers or solid cardstock to actually have more of the painted look, like the look of the collection. So what I used for this is actually I used this template of my basic pattern papers, and then I just changed one color to this green color I want to use, and then the other color I also changed to the same green color, but then I adjust the brightness, and you can just play with it. And I think this gives a really nice look of like this painted solid background. And then the last thing I changed is I actually remembered that there is another illustration of this rabbit, and this one has like half of a tree behind it, and I actually preferred that because I thought like with the tree on or the trees on the right side, it would look really nice to have something in the background here as well. So I just grabbed that from the stickers from collection #1, and then I noticed that there is some text on here, so I used one of these AI tools, but I could totally have used the other sticker if you don't have a pro account and don't want to use these AI tools. But it's really handy to have because I can just click on everything I want to use and then leave out the things, or in this case, the text I don't want to use. And then I can just position the rabbit with a tree on here. And that's it for the first double page I want to show you in this video. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's actually one of my favorite pages in this album. So yeah, let's continue with the next double page, which is already double page #6. And for double page #6, I chose my interactive page style #13, which is just a like simple page style with a tag pocket and a tag inside. And I also already knew what journaling card to use because now in the story we have this beautiful journaling card where Alice is like falling down the rabbit hole. So that was perfect to use on here. And again, first I just dragged it into my interactive element, so into the tag pocket. And then I was looking for some papers to use along with this journaling card, and I really like this paper with the blue flowers on here, and I think with Alice's blue dress it matches really well, but I was just trying out some different combinations. And then again, to break down this floral pattern, I wanted to use one of the more basic pattern papers, and I actually decided to use another one of my templates. So this time I used one of the other pattern papers with dots on them, and I just changed the colors to match the journaling card and the pattern paper here. And then I decided that I again want to break down the journaling card by using one of my scallop frames. And as I said, like for the filled scallop frames, I usually would cut them out with my cutting machine and some cardstock. But this time I thought I can also show you an option, especially if you don't have an electric or a non-electric cutting machine and die cuts. for these scallop frames, because what you could do is you could just use them, change the colors of them, and then actually print them out in the end rather than cutting them out. So that's what I'm going to do with this scallop frame, and it's actually the first time I'm printing out my scallop frame like this, but it's a really fun way, and especially because you have a lot of options to change the color of the frame. So I'm just changing it to this like greenish color, and then I just drag in my journaling card again, and that's the final look of my interactive page style. I then just wanted to change the right side because I like the floral pattern paper, but it's a little like too boring, or a little like too much of the same pattern and too much of white in my opinion. So what I used here is I used this triangle like half page to actually break it down and use another pattern paper or color to match these two pages. And with this like splitted page, I really like to place a scallop frame and actually a square scallop frame in the middle, because I think it looks really nice and you can just add your photo on here. And then I also grabbed another text box from the previous page to add to the bottom right corner. And then I again had to change the text, and this time I changed it to, "But what if I fall? Oh my darling, but what if you fly?" And then I decided that I also want to back this text box onto a scallop frame, so that's what I copied in here. And this is actually one of the scallop frames which are not included in the mini album planner yet, so not in this format or size, but I will definitely include it. I just need some time to, create some more of those in different like shapes or sizes. So if you got the planner already, always make sure to use the original link every time you're making a new album, so that's where you get those free upgrades. And after changing the color of the font as well as of the background, I was actually quite happy with how this double page turned out, so we can continue with decorating the next double page. For my next double page, I grabbed my interactive page style number 4, which is a beautiful gatefold page style. And the first thing I actually did is I changed my default closure. So in my page styles in my planner, they are all like heart-shaped closures, but I actually wanted this to be a scallop frame, and I actually chose this 3-inch circled scallop frame. And then again, I started by choosing the illustration I want to highlight on this double page, and I'm actually choosing this one where Alice is down the rabbit hole and still following the rabbit. And I just placed it onto the magnet closure, and I think it looks really nice in this like circle shape, and it's something different than using these journaling cards just as like rectangle shapes. Then I was looking for some papers to go along with this journaling card, and I really wanted to use this beautiful pattern paper with Alice and then all the butterflies and flowers on there, but it's definitely a little too much, so again, in my opinion, I have to break it down by using some basic pattern papers. And for that, I actually grabbed one of my new decorative elements, which you could use as like tuck spots or just to break down some papers. And this is also a great way if you are using a physical collection and you want to save up some papers, or you have only some scraps left which won't fit on the whole page. That is something you could always do. And then for my gatefold flaps, I actually grabbed the same striped paper I have used before on a page, but this time I just rotated it so that the stripes would be in a different orientation. And then I also changed the colors to match the colors of the pattern paper on the left side. I then also wanted to add some text to this double page, so I again grabbed the text box from the previous page and just placed it into the left bottom corner here. And because I had already used this light pink color on the 2 previous pages a lot, I actually wanted to use a different pink color, and I actually noticed that the colors on the pen and paper are much brighter, so I tried to pick it up from the butterfly first, and then I actually found a better color on this butterfly, so that's what I'm using here. And then of course I had to change the color of the font to this cream color. And then to finish up this double page, I just added another butterfly sticker and placed it right above the text here. And I also actually changed the basic pattern paper on the left side here to look more like this painted style. So that's something I did off camera, but you will see that when I show you the results of the finished pages at the end. Now let's continue with the last double page I want to show you in today's video. And for this double page, I chose my interactive page style number 2. And then I really wanted to use this pattern paper with all the frames and characters. I think it's a beautiful pattern paper, but it's also a very busy one. So I first just added it to the right page, and then I was looking for what to do on the booklet. And I thought that it would be fun to also have a frame on the booklet. So that's something I had to create. I could have used one of these like framed journaling cards, but I actually thought that I wanted to use this flower bouquet for the journaling card. So I placed it here first, but then I changed it back because first I want to design this frame. And for this, I was looking for like an ornament as I see on the frames on the right side, but to just grab it from the frames on the right side wouldn't work because this would be too small. So I was looking on the other journaling cards to actually find one of these ornaments for decorating my frame. And once I found them, I actually just cut them down and then I placed them on all 4 sides on this booklet. And then I just had to copy my background square to have it in the middle. And I think this already looks like a frame, but to have it look even more realistic, I also wanted to add those lines to the corners because I think this looks really nice and it actually looks like this would be a picture frame. And then once I finished the frame, the only thing I had to do is to add my journaling card to the middle, and because it's not like in the correct shape, I actually had to back it onto the same color background and just adjust the size so that it would fit perfectly in here. And then for the background, this time I really wanted to use one of the more basic pattern papers from these collections. So as I said, there are a few I like. So I really like this lighter pink one as well as this more darker pink one. And both of them to me look like wallpaper. So it matches really well with the style of this double page. And to break down this very busy but beautiful pattern paper on the right side, I added another one of my decorative elements. And this actually consists of 2 tag pockets, which you could place to the sides and then just add 2 tags to them. And yeah, I really like this look, and I decided to use one of the pattern papers I have already created and used on a previous page. So what you could always do when creating these basic pattern papers, you could just add them to your folder for the collection, or you can find them in your uploads and then just reuse them. I then also added my tags, and these tags again are not yet included in my digital mini album planner. So these tag shapes, they're perfect with this add-on here, but I want to make them in different sizes, and once I finish that, I will add them to my digital mini album planner as well. And with that, the last double page for today is digitally decorated. So now let's have a look how these pages turned out. And the pages are not yet added to my album cover because that's something I always do in the end, but you can just have a look at them, and then of course there will be a project share of the whole album in the last part. But that's what the first double page looks like, and as I said, these pages are one of my favorites in this album, so I'm very happy with how they turned out. And I didn't do any changes, so as you can see, I just printed out the papers how I digitally designed them, and then I just crafted my pages or built my page style, and that is a very easy process because all the creative process is already done and you can just print out your papers, which is also very easy to do with the planner, and you get the papers in exactly the sizes you need, and then you just have to finish up your pages. Now for the second double page, as you can see, the only thing I changed is I actually changed the shape of the tag. So in my page style templates in the mini album planner, the tag shape is always a very basic one where you wouldn't need a die cutting machine for. You could just cut off the corners by using a template or just do it with your scissors. But I really like this tag shape, and again, I will add these tags to my digital mini album planner once I have designed them in different sizes. And then on the next double page, as I said, I just changed the solid background, like the pink background on the left side, to have these stains so that it would look more like a painted background. And then this is what the last double page turned out, and again, I'm very happy with the result. It was very easy to do. The only thing which took me a little longer, but also is very easy in the combination with the planner, is to cut out my tags with using my electric die cutting machine. But it works really well, and again, that's something you could avoid by just using a regular tag shape. And with that, we are at the end of this video today, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching it. So if you did, I would love to get your feedback in the comments down below. Let me know which page you like the most so far. And then also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would really love to get your subscription. That definitely helps my channel to grow. And then I would love to see you in my next video. Bye!